Hello guys, it is Teenage DC Fan back with another video, and in today's video I will be reviewing the latest episode of Krypton, and this episode is titled Ghost in the Fire. So if this show didn't have Lobo in it, or like if it didn't have Brainiac or Doomsday or any of those great villains, then this show would suck. Because it kinda does, but Lobo makes up for it. Like Lobo is the best part of this show. He's just an awesome character. He's basically, actually, I'll explain it more when I get into talking about his part of the story. But in the beginning of the episode, in the Outlands, Doomsday makes a brief appearance when he takes down two unprepared skimmers with his bare hands. So that's pretty cool. And so now people are out searching for Doomsday, and then Lyda has started training the unexperienced Sagittari, because General Zod wanted her to, and then she trains them, and she's like going really hard on them, and then she sees one guy, and then it looks like Seg, and then she realizes that it's not him. So then she's like, you come face me, and then she kicks his ass. Because she couldn't deal with seeing Seg, because she loved him, and now, well, even though we know he's not dead, she thinks he's dead, so, yeah, then, like, class is dismissed and stuff, like, the training gets over, and then after that, she's like, I want to speak to you after class, or stay here, or something, and then she talks to him, and then she's like, you remind me of someone I used to care about very much. So then he takes this as a hint to make a move on her, so then he goes in to kiss her, and then she just slaps him in the face. And then after that, she gets mad, and she just brutally beats him. I thought he was actually dead, but he's alive, but barely. So yeah, she kind of just let loose. And then Zod wanted an explanation, so she gave it, and then there wasn't too much else there. And then also, Nitsa had a small storyline in this episode, like very small. Basically, she was sent as a spy, to talk to Seg's grandfather and that other lady that's missing an eye. And nothing really happens there, but she informs us that her father is dead. Her father was kind of like the secondary villain last season to Brainiac. Like, I think he was like the leader of Krypton in last season, but we haven't seen him at all in this season. But she just says, Lyta Zod executed my father in cold blood. So yeah, there's that. But nothing else really happened there. And then also in the Outlands, so back in the first season, Lyta shot her mother during a duel. Her mother is Jaina, and but Jaina was saved by someone, and that someone appears to be her brother. At least we think it's her brother. So then they're kind of just like hanging out there, talking about their childhood and stuff like that, and how she feels guilty for the way that she was a mother to Lyta, because she was very hard on her, and she was more of a boss more than a mother. She acted like she didn't care about her, and she regrets that now because she realizes that she was being like her own father. So, but then they wandered off to a bar or a tavern, something like that. But Jaina gets spotted, and like the people in there recognize her as a Sagittari, and then she beats that guy up, and she's like, "Does anybody else think I'm Jaina Zod?" So then they're like, oh, no, never mind. Um, so then everything's good there. So then she's in there, getting a drink and stuff like that. But then she, some Sagittari soldiers come in, and they're not looking for anybody. They actually they're looking for they're looking for fugitives, and then they all point at Jaina, and then she like starts beating them up, and then one of them almost shoots her, but then a different Sagittari shoots that other Sagittari, and then that guy takes his helmet off, and we realize that it's Dez, whatever. So this guy was in last season. Like he was Jaina's like number one Sagittari cadet or whatever. So of course she's glad to see him, but we haven't seen him since last season. But I guess we'll have to see where it goes from there with that. But now on to the best part of the episode, and pretty much the only good parts of the episode. The parts with Lobo. So we saw in the last episode, Lobo knocked out Seg and Adam. So in this episode, they wake up at Lobo's campsite, and Lobo throws Adam's Zeta beam into the stream beside the campsite, because he's like, oh, what's this for? Oh, well. But he's just such a great character. Like, he's evil and, like, super tough, but he also has, like, a sense of humor. He's kind of like Deadpool, but, like DC, and, like, not a hero. At least not usually. But then he was basically saying that he's going to, like, rip them apart. His plan is to, rip out Seg's intestines, wrap it around Adam's neck so that he can choke out Adam and kill Adam, and then he's going to cut open Adam's head, and then like dump all the blood and brain juice into Seg's mouth. So it's pretty disgusting and gory. And then something funny that Lobo says is, well, Seg is like, I'm Seg L, and then Lobo's like, what? Seagull? So then throughout the rest of the episode, Lobo's just calling Seg Seagull. So that was pretty funny. But then after that, they find out that Lobo was just looking for Brainiac, because Brainiac destroyed his home. Everybody on his planet was already dead because of some kind of space scorpions, I think. But Lobo described, like, how he would go on a vacation, like, go on a bounty hunt, like, kill some people, and then come back home. But then he came back home, and there was no home. So then, they make a deal. Lobo and Seg make a deal. So Seg and Adam are going to take Lobo to Brainiac's body. But then they show up at Brainiac's body, and then Lobo has a sensor. So then he scans Brainiac's body, and then he's like, this isn't Brainiac. And he's like, oh, scan again. And then nothing happens. And then Lobo's like, you lied to me. Brainiac is somewhere on this planet, but this isn't him. So now, which one of you am I going to have to kill to find out where Brainiac is? And then Lobo drops his scanner right in front of Seg, and then it starts going off. So, apparently, Brainiac is inside of Seg. So that's pretty cool. But then Lobo begins to assault him immediately, trying to, kill him, because he wanted to kill Brainiac. But Seg has telekinetic powers now, because Brainiac is inside of him. So, Lobo doesn't stand a chance against him. But then, Lobo is so strong that he's able to pin him down. But then, luckily, Adam grabs Lobo's blaster and blasts a hole right through his chest. So I didn't expect this. I kind of got freaked out and worried at this part because I was like, wait, but there's supposed to be a Lobo TV show. And they built him up as such a good character on here. Now they're just going to kill him off. But then, as Lobo lied on the ground, his stomach started to regrow. And then that's when we found out that apparently he has a healing factor. Um, Maybe that's something in the comics and stuff like that. I don't really know. I never knew that about him. So I got freaked out for a second. But this is another similarity to Deadpool. Because, like Deadpool, you can chop his arm off, it'll grow back. And apparently it's the same with Lobo. So that's kind of cool. It makes the character even more interesting than he was. And because Brainiac is inside of Seg is able to figure out that they have 3.14 minutes to get away. And then, meanwhile, after getting away from Lobo, Seg and Adam make their way back to Lobo's camp to retrieve the Zeta Beam. But unfortunately, Seg estimates that he only has around 2.5 hours before Brainiac takes over the driver's seat of, his body. So Adam easily finds the Zeta Beam, but Seg stops him from taking them home because Brainiac is still inside of him, and he couldn't take Brainiac to Krypton with him. So he's like, alright, we have to get Brainiac out of me before we can go back to Krypton. But then he says, however, if nothing works, and then he makes, basically he makes Adam promise that he'll kill him. And then Seg's eyes turn like pitch black into the darkness of Brainiac. So that's pretty cool. So I'm glad that Brainiac's not dead, and I'm glad that Lobo's not dead. Those were both like a close call. But I like the way that they did it. Like they've got some good storylines going on here, and in the next episode, Lobo is going to be featured again. And in part of the preview, it showed that Seg and Adam got behind some kind of force field, but Lobo partially got through it. Like he got his hand through the force field before it closed, but then when it did close, his arm just chopped off. So then he was like, "Oh, that's my favorite hand." So yeah, Lobo is an awesome character, and I'm glad that they added him to the show, because if they didn't, then this show would suck. So anyway, let me know down in the comments below what you thought of this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope to see you in my next video so I can bestow all my DC knowledge upon you.